Hello and welcome to this LangChain tutorial. So in the previous video, we already created a simple RAG application and completing the whole flow of loading the document using the document loader. We used the text splitters to create smaller chunks of this loaded document, then stored these chunks in vector store, right? And then we used similarity search to get the relevant chunks from the vector store based on the user's query, and then sent those chunks and user query to the LLM to get answer based on our own knowledge document. So a grounded answer from the LLM. So now in this video, what we'll do is we'll extend that functionality by creating a citation aware RAG. So citation aware retrieval augmented generation is an advanced AI architecture that not only retrieves relevant information from external data sources to answer a query, but also embeds inline citation or references directly into the generated text. That way you can attribute specific statements in the final answer to the exact source document, page or paragraph from which they were derived. So what does that mean is, along with the answer, you will also add information like the document from which the given answer is coming. So source, then page number in the document, author, creation date, and related metadata you can also add along with the answer. So you give some citations also. So that way it ensures that every response can be traced back to a specific source or passage. So as an example, with citation aware RAG, you may get a structure like this. So your final answer, so suppose your query was what was the revenue of the company in 2024. So you get an answer. Along with that, you also get some citations where it is getting this answer based on which document. So it gives the source, in that source which page number and other information if needed. So that is what your answer would look like with citation aware RAG. So what are the benefits of using citation aware RAG? Of course, first is you can verify the source. So you can provide verifiable references for each statement. That also brings some confidence, right? That, okay, my answer is based on this information. And in some cases, it is even essential and legally required also that you should give citations, right? Like if you are preparing a research paper, then you have to cite your sources from where you are quoting. Same for journalism, law, and healthcare. So it is even required in some cases that you should give your citation. So there you will use citation aware RAG. Of course, there is another very good reason for creating a citation aware RAG, that is to debug your RAG. So even if you are not required to build a citation aware RAG for end users, as a developer, you can keep this citation in your pipeline for debugging purposes, right? That is also one way you can use citation aware RAG. So citations will help you trace every generated claim back to the exact chunk or source document. So as a test, you can prepare some questions with the knowledge of answers and which page of which document contains that answer. So you can prepare that. Then by running your citation aware RAG with the same questions, you can verify the trustworthiness of RAG application under development. So without them, actually, it will be not easy to verify whether the model is hallucinating or faithfully using retrieved text. So that is also one reason why you could go with the citation aware RAG. Correct. Now coming to approaches for creating citation aware RAG. So one is using manual citation injection. So after similarity search, when you get to the relevant chunks that contains both content as well as metadata, correct? What you get as relevant chunks after your query in similarity search. What you can do is you can loop through these retrieved chunks and manually attach their metadata to the answer. So in this approach, citation is often done outside the LLM, right? In your application itself, you will do the citation part. So LLM will just give you the answer for the query based on the context, then you'll add citation to it. So with this approach, benefits are, since you are doing it, so you know exactly which chunks are cited, right? Easier to debug and audit, no risk of fabricated citations by the LLM. So you're not offloading it to the or delegating it to the LLM to give you citations also along with the answer. So this approach is common in enterprise internal knowledge bases where trust is very important. So then you will use this approach. So let's create one example using this approach. So we already have most of the things done actually. So I'm using the same layout or project structure where we created a util.py file which gives you utility function for loading the document, splitting it and giving you the embedding model. Then we have this db underscore util.py which gives you all the database or vector store related code. And then we had this simple rag.py file where we actually do the work of creating our query and sending it to the LLM along with the context and getting the answer. So we can copy the same thing and make changes in that one only. So this one I'll name citation aware. So let name it CA rag 1 because this is first approach. And what I'll do is I'll copy everything from here. Okay, so we have imports, whatever. Then we have the prompt where we are explicitly telling it to give answer based on this context only. Otherwise, say you don't know the answer. Then model and parser, prompt creation. Now, first, let's see how it looks like with this approach, your response. Then we'll try to extract the information or metadata from that response. So I'll just comment all this. Then we can call generate underscore response with some query. What are the coverage rules for newborn baby? So suppose this is my question. I'll put the print also here for results so we can see the result and then I can run it. So return dot slash L10 in that CA. Okay, so if you see here in the results which we have got, and we'll get three results because K is 3 here, right? So if you see the results which we have printed here, we have page content, and before that, this is the metadata. From here, page content starts, but this is the metadata. In that, what all information we have: page, author, total pages, source, creator, producer, page label, creation date, modified date. So these all I can use in my citation. I mean, not all, whatever you need. If you need all, you can use all, or you can extract. Let's say I need page label, source, and creation date, these three. So I can take these three. All right, so that's how all my relevant chunks which I get after similarity search will look like. So I should have three such chunks here. So now I have to loop through it and create myself the citation part. So just like this, I can create another function. Say I call it append underscore sources, which will also get the results. In that, what I can do is for I doc enumerate results I can create a list and I can append all of them here. So sources dot append, in that I can add them as dictionary. So first thing, from which chunk it is coming, if I want that, I can get that information. Then from this doc dot, so if you see here, we have doc, within that metadata. So what we'll do is doc dot metadata, then whatever we need, dot get. So doc dot metadata dot get, let's say source, and in that I add this I+1 to create some ID kind of, right? Doc dot metadata dot get source, that I can add, let's say like this chunk, I+1. So that will be my chunk ID, correct? Then suppose I need source, so source will be this part, doc dot metadata dot get source, correct? That will be my source. I can also add that if it is not there, then I'll just say PDF. Then suppose I need what on page for number. For that I can take doc dot get. For that I can use this page underscore label, actually, because that will be the actual page in PDF. Page label, if it is not there, that metadata is not available, then say not applicable. Let's say I need a creation date also. So creation underscore date. Again, I can take as dot, and in that I can put creation date. So that is how I can append sources, and then I can return sources. All right, I will come here. Now I need to go through the whole flow. I'll comment this part. So results, context, and here I'll add sources also. So append underscore result, and in fact whole thing, right? So results, and this name is sources. So append underscore sources. Now I both. So what I can do is I can return response as well as the sources. Where I'm calling it, I'll get both response and sources. Here I'll just print them. Print response, print sources. All right. So it's the same RAG. You see, simple RAG, whatever we did, all the classes are same. So you can go through that video if you need information. We are using the same util and chroma db underscore util, and almost the same class as simple RAG. This model, this prompt, everything is same. Only difference is now when we get the result, we also create the sources from that result. and how result look like. I've already showed that, so you know how we can extract the metadata. So using that, I'm just creating here this citation part, correct? So now total chunk source page number, taking these four things. This part looks wrong, right? Should be here. Okay, so yeah, now it looks okay. With that, let's try to run it. So there was one mistake in the code. The sources spelling was not correct. I fixed it and ran it again. So application, now I'm getting an answer as well as from where this answer is coming from. So I gave some chunk ID that excites an ID, then source. So source is that PDF. In that, page number is 12, right? So I have 1, 2, 3 chunks, right? All of them has page number as 12. So I was verifying in the PDF actually. If you see, that's where it is page number 12. That's where we have information about this newborn baby coverage. So looks like it is giving a correct citation for this. So that's about how you can create citation. Now let's go to the second approach. So second approach is where you will ask LLM to provide the citation. All right. So rather than you manually doing it, looping through the chunks, you can provide that information to the LLM and that will give the citation. So for that, you will have to use a schema, proper schema, that how your answer should look like, that you have to give to the LLM, that it has to give final answer plus those citation fields also. That you can give as a structured output to the LLM and you'll get a response in the same format. So benefits of this approach are you are using LLM to give you the citations. That way it is easier to integrate with other workflows because you get a final answer from LLM itself, which can readily be forwarded to other workflows downstream if your answer is sent to other applications. But there is a drawback also, that you are relying on the LLM's ability to correctly map claims to sources, where it may give you a wrong answer also or try to fabricate answer on its own. So that's the downside of using LLM-driven citation injection. All right. So for that, if we have to create an example, what we can do is I'll create one more file here that I'll call ca2.py. At least this part I can take from here itself. All right. So we have all the imports. This system message, actually we should change a little to tell it about our citations also. We'll get the new prompt system message. So now if you see, we have some changes here. We are telling it about citations also, that cite the appropriate sources. Each chunk has been provided with a page number and a source. Every answer should include that. All right, so that is what you will do. And you have to provide the schema also, how your answer should look like, because you are telling it that in every answer it should include a citation. So you only tell it about the schema also. So that I've already prepared. So some title you need to give. Type is object. So properties, first the actual final answer, and citations, which will be of type array because you can have more than one. In that, your items are same, your ID, source, page number, creation date. At least source, page number and ID are required, and in this whole answer and citation both are required. So this is my schema. So that means I have to use that structured underscore model equal to model. In that I will use with structured output to get output as per my schema. So what you do is with underscore structured underscore output based on my schema. So what was the name here? Response underscore schema. So I have my model also. Now I can again create a function. Let's name it generate underscore response only, which gets the query. Here again you do the same thing. I go to load data, not load data, search data with this query. So search data is already imported. I'll search data based on that query. That will give me some results. Then what we do is we have to append results, right? So context equal to, I'll just write that function also, and underscore results based on results. Let's first create this function. So here now we have to add the citations also actually. So def and underscore results, it get all the results. And what we'll do now is return slash n dot join. We'll add the metadata also. So that will be a little bigger this time. So n dot join here, first thing I need is that ID part. So let me get that part from here itself. So this, right? When join, I can use this. All right. So in a list of dot chunk I plus 1, that will be first thing. Then I can add dot meta data dot get. What else do I need is source. So source, this will also be a dictionary, or if it is not there, then PDF, right? So that will be the second thing which I need. Then what else was there? Doc dot meta data dot get page label. Any page label, that also will be a dictionary. So this part. Then one more thing I need. What was that? Creation date. So creation date. So that will be my append result. Now I have, of course, main thing I'm forgetting. You need dot page underscore content. So we'll add everything ourselves. These metadata as well as this content. So now we are sending everything to the LLM ourselves. So dot page dot content for doc in results. Right. Now I have everything append result gives me metadata as well as page content for whatever results I have. So it is looping through it. So I have this context. Can create a chain which will have prompt and this structured model. So structured underscore model. Okay, so we have chain, then we can invoke it and get the response. So for invoking it, chain.invoke, where I can pass the dictionary, need context and query. So context is this context only, and query is this query only. So we have same name, query and context. That will give me a response which I can return response. And if we use the same thing what we have here, we don't have sources, only response, and then we can print this response. Okay, so that is about our LLM citation, where we send a response schema message where we again tell specifically that it has to cite also the sources. At least one citation should be there. Then we create this generate response, and in append results we are attaching the metadata also. So ID, which is this I, then sources. Okay, one problem I see, I'm using I here. So here also I did write for I doc in enumerate results. Okay. And content is also there. So content as well as metadata. So it should give answer as per this schema that we are imposing here with structured output. So now let's try to run it and see. Slash L10 CA2. So this is the answer we got from the LLM, where we have the answer part as per the schema answer and the citations. So it has given only one because all three were similar, so it has given only one. All right, so this is about citation aware RAG, where you can get the citations also, and we have discussed both the approaches also. First one where you can manually attach the citation part, and that is actually preferred, as I pointed out also. Most of the enterprise application use that because then you have control over how to attach it. LLM can make mistake, but that option is also there where you can give all the information to the LLM along with the structured output and expect LLM to give you the citation part also, as we have just done. So that is all about the citation aware RAG. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.